All right, good afternoon or evening. This is about 6-7 o'clock over here at Bethany Lakes again for another quick trip. This time I'm bringing out the Flystar 2 rod reel, actually reel, and the Redington Pursuit. And I made this fly just a few minutes ago, right here. It's got about a size 8 hook, some lead wire, give it some weight, and the red plume, marabou plume, and some chenille. I'm hoping I can use it to maybe cast to some bass on beds. So let's go walk the bank a little bit and see if we can spy something that might be interested in our fly. In the last few weeks or so, we've been noticing some bass kind of staging, doing their thing on the beds. Got my polarized glasses on, and I'm hoping I can see them before they see me. All right, and there was one nice one that way. There's one over here that was sitting here. There were two that were there the other day, and then back over there in the corner there was something, and then again by the tree there's some other stuff as well. So let's see if we can have a little look-see. Maybe they've been caught already, but it doesn't hurt to take a look. All right, so some baby duckies, and if we don't see anything, we'll just kind of blind cast and kind of guess where we last saw them. I think there was one right over here. Oh, we don't want the ducks to get this. Look at this. These ducks are going for my fly. Watch this. Oh my God. Well, we don't want that. Holy cow, I just guess these guys don't understand the situation here. Look at these guys. Okay, now they're starting to go under. All right, let's leave these guys alone. Duckies want to play with my fly. All right, at this point I'm just gonna blind cast. All right, this is that 8-foot Redington 4-weight. Fly start reel 4-weight, and then a 4-weight line with about I think about an 8-foot leader and tippet. Nothing fancy. Just gonna see maybe something will blindly strike. If we do see a bed, we'll start working it. Wind's a little bit not everything, kind of hard to see with the ripples on the water, but hey, you never know. Oops, kind of hooked down here on some brush. All right, just get it out there and let's see what happens. I'll just do some short pulls for now. If I see some bluegill, I may switch over to that foam grasshopper that was working well the other day on them. But I'm hoping to get something to hit that hadn't seen one of these flies before. Okay, nothing yet. Got a little wind today. All right, let's just kind of work the bank. Shorten my line and set it up to just walk the bank and kind of pop our lure here and there and see if we might get something to strike as we're just walking the bank, working our way over. Oh, got some geese. Got some geesey. All right, let's try back over here. Notice how I'm staying away from the bank. I'm about 10 feet off the bank. That way I don't spook anything that may be nearby. And at this point, it's blind casting, seeing if anything's kind of working their way here. And oh, by the way, this is also listed as a podcast series, so I'll do some talking. That way those that aren't able to see get an idea of what I'm doing. So today I'm at Bethany Lakes, our local pond. I'm working a fly rod with a pattern that I just made up, and it's mainly just to give it some visibility so I can see it as I work a bed or two. Hopefully if I can see some bass kind of lurking on some beds. But right now I'm just blind casting and working the bank. I did see some kind of movement or activity, like something kind of had some kind of splashy move or a rise, and I was hoping there might be something there, but it wasn't. And so I'm just going to keep working there. I just walked up closer to the bank now that I've cleared it with a few casts, and at this point I'm hoping that I catch a bass or two. So short cast right now, mainly just to clear the area close to the bank before I move on to the next spot. And so we'll go move on to another spot here shortly. All right, so I usually do this in the evening this time of year with quick trips working these ponds. I do know that some folks are reporting some of the white bass and whatnot are now back in the lakes, and maybe a good opportunity to do some kayak fishing. So you'll see myself shifting over to that technique. But for now, with these quick trips, taking advantage of being able to take maybe an hour or so and doing a little fishing one evening. Okay, so now I've walked up to another portion of the bank or the pond, and I'm just working my fly up close, trying to see if something will hit. And so far nothing, but gotta be ready. And again, I stood away from the bank about 10 feet, cast in front of me, and then I moved up on the bank, hoping not to spook anything. And I think I caught a bass here last time using some bait finesse gear on that Z-Man rig, Ned rig. But today I'm out fly fishing. Fly fishing the local pond, doing some warm weather fishing, and definitely has started to warm up on us. Okay, let's see if we can keep working this. Go over here and try this section here. Okay. Let's try back this way. Alright. Nothing yet. And just to reiterate my gear, I'm using a Redington Pursuit 8-foot 4-weight fly rod and a Fly Start 2 Ross reel and a 4-weight weight forward fly line. And I'm fishing pretty fast, mainly because I'm trying to just locate fish at this point, and I only have so much time, so hey, got to take advantage of what you can do. All right, I got my polarized glasses, so I'm hoping I can see them too before they see me and get an opportunity to hook one in. Okay. And I may switch over to maybe a popper, or correction, a foam spider, to see if that topwater bite may be on as well, because that sure is fun. Okay. All right, let's move on. Okay, describe those listen on the podcast. I'm just walking the bank. It's trying to work an evening bite here at the local pond, standing off about 10-15 feet from the bank. Just popping my fly up close, seeing if I can get, and then I'll walk up onto the bank or shoreline and start getting a little closer so I can get some more casting done. And now I'm kind of casting further out, just kind of exploring the area, seeing if something will strike. Okay. This next thing I'm doing is I'm going to start working my way along the bank, and I'm going to work it by first casting close, little acute angle to the shore, and I'll work my way out and just keep popping it in that pattern, hoping we can get something to strike that may be close as well as a little bit further out, as well as further out. Okay. And so far, no hits. Okay. I can see my fly. It's very visible. It's got red marabou and it's got a pink chenille. It's that cactus chenille that gives it a lot more fuzziness and allows me to see it pretty good as I work it along the bank here, or along the pond. And so far, no one wants to play with me right now. Oh wait, I see a bed. See a bed, but I don't see a bass in it. Let's see. Drop it right in there. Yeah, it's a bed, but there's no bass in it. All right, let's just keep working then. Looking for some light spots, potential beds. There's another one that may be a potential. No, it looks like a bed, but there's nothing in it. Really helps having these polarized glasses. Okay. All right. It's another one, but I don't see anything in it as well. Funny, this year I don't see as many fish on this side of the pond. Getting more hits back pond as well as on that other bank that way. Gotten more hits, which is kind of weird because normally I'll get into a bed of some bluegill or whatnot in this section here. All right. Okay, and this is a GoPro fishing live stream, mobile fishing live stream that I like to do, where I tie in my phone with my GoPro and I'm able to give you a first-person point of view of the fishing activities. It's also tied to a podcast series that I've started using that feature that they have on YouTube. So you'll hear me doing a lot more talking than I normally do. So hopefully I don't bore you with my conversation. All right, and describe here, we're now at the back section of the main pond here at Bethany Lakes, kind of working one of the little coves. It's a shallow cove. It does have a couple of humps where over the years some of the water, or correction, the sand and sediment and whatnot is kind of fallen through or been washed into the pond, and it'll be more of a shallow hump. And at times you'll get a bass or two striking. Unfortunately, I don't have anything right now, so I'm gonna work this section real quick. Then we're gonna pop over to the back pond, take a look at what may be lurking here, and I may switch over to a foam spider or foam grasshopper, mainly see if I can get some of these bites topwater wise. And coming up on the bank but staying off about 10-15 feet, and I'm working my fly ahead of me. There's a hit. There we go. All right, that one hit right in front of me, about maybe 6 feet or so from the bank. So I'm glad I stood off to the back to keep from scaring it. And the fly that I'm using is just a marabou, 2 marabou plumes with some lead and wire to give it some weight. And there is the bass. For those on the podcast, it is, I would say, roughly 13 inches or so, and it struck this fly. It's got 2 marabou plumes, some pink chenille, and some weighted lead. Give it a little sinking ability. And I stood off about 10 feet from the bank, and he struck about 6 feet off the bank as I worked my way up to go check out what was biting here. So let's go ahead and do the same thing again. All right, now over here to my left is a drainage deal, and I had caught a nice sized bass. There were 2 of them, 2 bass spawning, and they had kind of worked their way or set up their bed really close to shore. And because I had my polarized glasses, I was able to see them, and I was using some bait finesse gear, some ultralight bait casting gear, and I got them to strike on a, guess what, a rooster tail, 1/16 ounce rooster tail. So here, let me go and take up some line, and I'm gonna go and see if they're still there and see if I can get them to hit again, but this time on a fly rod using this I don't know what to name it, fly, two red marabou plume and pink chenille fly. There we go. All right, and so it was right over here, just in this area, and I'm not sure if he's still there, but I'm just gonna walk up slowly. It's tough to see right now because of the wind and the little ripples on the surface, and I'm hoping I can just kind of walk up and get a glimpse of maybe something guarding the bed. I don't see anything, so I'm going to blind cast to it. I'm going to blind cast here, just kind of take the fly right into the bed. I can see the fly, luckily, so that's good. But I really can't see anything else moving about, so don't know if there's a bass there. There were 2 last time I fished it, and I caught 1 of them. This time I don't see anything nearby, as well as in the bed itself, so they may not be here right now. So let's just kind of work the fly nearby, and maybe something will strike. If not, I'm just gonna go and work my way over. And I know there was some nice sized bluegill, which I don't know if they'll hit this thing. It's kind of big. Let's go ahead and go over here and see. All right. So those listening podcast wise, I'm about maybe 6 feet, 8 feet from the bank, and I'm tossing with a short line on my fly rod this impromptu fly I made. Maybe I'll call it that, the impromptu fly. And I'm just kind of working it close by just to see if I can get another bass to strike that may be lurking nearby. Caught 1 bass so far, working the ponds fairly quickly. Describe the area. It's Bethany Lakes here in Allen. There's 4 ponds. Just for ease of reference, we call the main pond, the one that has a fountain, the main pond. There's also another one that has like a pier that's called Main Pond C, is what it's officially called. And we just call it the horseshoe pond because it is kind of horseshoe shaped. And then back over here is what I call the back pond. It includes a feeder creek. And the reason why it's the back pond, well, because it's the back pond. It's in the back where all the other ones are. And then the 4th lake is just over there by the recreation center, Joe Farmer Recreation Center. And that one I call the lower pond because guess what? It's the low pond. It's right below everything else, where everything kind of feeds into. All right, so far, only 1. But who knows? Always be ready for another strike. Kind of working the fly this way and that. All right, what's different from the last time we were here, we noticed that the greenery has kind of moved off. This whole area here to my left was really clobbered with a bunch of floating green stuff. But it looks like it's since moved on elsewhere, not sure where, but it's not here right now. And so we can definitely work that section of the pond. But I'm gonna go back over here. This is where we were getting a lot of fun playing with some bluegill. And I think there was some bass last time too that were hanging out. So let's go walk over there real quick. All right. So those listening on the podcast, we're just kind of working our way over, headed to the spot where yours truly caught a few bluegill as well as lost a few bluegill, and I caught occasional bass this time of year, or this year. All right, I'm gonna start off. This time I start off further, maybe 16 feet away from the bank, and I'm gonna start popping my. Well, there we go. I just scared one. Just start working my fly close, mainly to see if I can get something to strike that's maybe lurking nearby. I just saw something else just kind of scoot off. All right. And I mainly do this because I kind of want to make sure if there's anything that's wanting to strike nearby that I give him the opportunity to strike versus me spooking him away. And there's just something over here running. It looks like a little bass or maybe a bluegill. Okay. I'm now about maybe 8 to 10 feet from the bank, standing off from the bank itself, and just kind of popping my fly here and there, trying to work in the area, trying to see might entice bass that may be lurking. So now I'm casting further out, just kind of working the fly over the area, and kind of just working it slowly. Hopes of maybe a bass that may be lurking nearby goes for it. Sort of like the last one that we just caught, or the only one we've caught so far, which struck pretty quickly after I cast it into the water. Okay, now I'm about maybe 4 to 6 feet from the bank, working my way closer, but I'm casting further out now, kind of exploring the area. Going a little bit further out. This time I'm kind of paralleling the bank. I just saw something move further out. I'm going to go cast out further. Okay, let's see what may be lurking out there. Okay, so I've just cast out further, and mainly because I saw something move that may look like a fish, and now I'm just working a fly further out, and that's that impromptu fly. 2 marabou plumes, red, some lead wire to give it some weight, and then some pink cactus chenille. Oh, that one had something chasing right behind it. All right. Oh, something chased that one. Okay. And we'll just keep working it this way and that. I see something else moving out there again. Let's just pop it out there. See if there's something lurking right there. Nope. No takers. Can't really see into the water like I normally could, mainly because of the wind and the ripples. It's just something moved off to my right again. All right. And I'm hoping we can attract something here. Let's just yank this one out there. See if something else wants to strike that is bass-like. Okay, nothing. Okay, let's go back this way. I can work my way between these two trees, and now I'm standing off about maybe 16 feet from the bank, casting out and bringing my fly in. I just seen something spook off to my left. I'm gonna cast to it in case he's still there. Doesn't look like it, but we'll try again. Okay, nope. Let's go this way. This red color and the pink chenille for its head makes for real easy locating it and watching the fly, and hopefully seeing something strike with it or strike on it. We'll just keep working it this way and that. All right, so I'm hoping y'all like this series. It's the GoPro mobile fishing Livestream series where I just come out and do some fishing, and you get to see everything, the mistakes, the aw shucks, and it seems to be doing good. The other day went out with some bait finesse gear, ultralight bait casting gear. That was the Micro Light Bass Pro Shops fiberglass rod. Picked it up for like $24.99 from Bass Pro Shops. Put on that Shimano Scorpion BFS 17 XG and had some real good fun. Z-Man Ned rig as well as a inline spinner. Get the opportunity to check it out. Check out the shorts as well as the edited version of the live streams. So that gives you an opportunity to skip all the junk and go right into some of the action if you don't want to watch the full live stream piece. Of course, at that point I edit out the aw shuckses and stuff, so it makes me look like I'm a true professional expert fisherman. Oh man, you seen that? Duck just scared something nice sitting right over here close to the bank. Wonder if he's still there. Let's try it. Yeah, pretty good looking little swirl. That may be a decent sized bass. Spooked, but this time not by yours truly. Looks like a ducky this time. Okay, still standing off from the bank. This time about 16 to 20 feet. And I'm just kind of working the fly up close, out, cast it out, and then I bring it into the shore. And then as I clear the area, then I'll get closer to the bank and cast further out. Sort of like you're clearing the area for some potential fish that may be lurking. In this case, some spawning bass. And so far, I've only caught one. But hey, that's fishing. Oh, something just chased it. Something chased it. Didn't look big, but I saw a glimpse of, looked like a bass, but I think it was like a little fingerling guy. Something that was eyes bigger than its mouth, basically. Saying, hey, I could get that. Okay, and I'll continue working this pond. Just working away the back pond, headed toward the feeder creek area. Maybe something might be lurking back there. All right, let's keep going. All right, and definitely send any comments or questions that you may have. I'm not monitoring the chat right now, but I do check it out later. And just again to describe for those on the podcast, standing off about 16 to 20 feet from the bank, working my way in closer, just checking to make sure anything that may be near the bank has an opportunity to see my fly before I actually walk up closer up and start fishing near the bank. Oh, there's something just chased it. I could see the wake. Oh man, yeah. Okay, I didn't see the fish, but I saw the little V wake that was right behind it. So that gives me a good indication that something may be interested in my fly. Okay. Yeah, definitely keep an eye out for that when you're out fishing. That little V wake, telltale saying that there's a fishy interested in your offering. And in this case, he was interested, but I guess he changed his mind. But hey, maybe we can unchange his mind here. We'll just keep working the area. And, there's a slight wind, or good sized wind, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of windy, but not enough to detract, I think, from the audio. Okay, so I'm coming up on the culvert. This one usually has something lurking nearby. Doesn't mean they'll hit though. And I'm standing off from it, trying not to spook anything. And I'm just gonna work my fly along this little cove-like thing. So it's a drainage ditch, feeds into the back pond, and it's fairly deep. And usually when you have your polarized glasses, you'll see bluegill, bass kind of lurking right in here, and gives you a good opportunity to maybe catching one. But it looks like right now I am not getting that opportunity, but hey, who knows. Okay, I'm just gonna let my fly sink a little, take it further out and let it sink. In this case, I can't see the fly. I'm watching my fly line for any indication of a strike. So if I see it wiggle, if I see it get pulled, I see a hesitation, I'll set the hook. Sometimes I'll hook something, sometimes I won't, but at least I gave it the old try, and if there was something there, I would have had them. All right. Okay, now let's continue to work the fly, and right now I don't see anything. But before I go, I'm going to cast it to this far point in this little cove-like deal. I know it kind of dips down, and I'm going to let my fly kind of follow it down, hoping that maybe if something is lurking down there, he'll come up and hit it. Okay. So nothing yet. Okay, all right. Now I'm going to go to the point, and I'm going to start casting over here in the back area, back pond. Sometimes it gets really clobbered here with a bunch of greenery, but it looks like it's not right now. So I'm going to take advantage of this and kind of fish it. Oh, I just scared one right in front of me. Classic. I didn't clear the area. Big mistake. Didn't clear the area. I should have been casting right along this whole area before I walked up. And now I caught a tree fish. So give me a second while I clear that. All right. All right. Man, here I am telling you that you should clear the bank before you walk up, and I just blow it right there. Oh well, I'll edit that out. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm just on the point, and I'm just going to start fan casting, blind casting to this whole area. What I'm hoping for is if there is a bass here that is passing through the area and is interested in my fly, that I'll kind of get his attention, just working my fly along just above the vegetation, because I know there's a lot of vegetation just under the surface. And with the setup here, if I keep a short retrieve like this, short pull retrieve, I should be able to keep the fly out of all the junk and still have a good opportunity of getting something to hit. Okay, so just kind of keep working it. Oh, there's a hit right there. That one hit. Soon as I dropped it in the water, he came up and hit it. So that was just kind of blind casting. This one's a bass. Not bad. I'll describe what I'm doing here for those that are listening in on the podcast. Okay, he's bigger than the last one. Struck the impromptu fly, and yours truly just let go and lost him. All right, for those on the podcast, I lost him. For those that watched, well, I lost him. All right, he's bigger than the other one. He struck as soon as it hit the water. I saw the something strike and take the fly, and yeah, and there's nothing more to be said other than I blew that one. But we can keep fishing. All right, good to know that something is interested in my fly. Okay, all right, we'll keep working it. Let me go ahead and take up some line. I got a lot of line everywhere. Yeah, I tend not to do well with my line management. I don't have a stripping basket or anything. I just pretty much let it drag behind me, and sometimes it gets tangled, sometimes it doesn't. All right, and then one thing that has been common this round is that first bass I caught and this second one that I lost, they hit it as soon as the fly hit the water. So boom, and then I had the hit. Happened on the first one, happened on the second one. So I may have dropped it right on top of them if there was a bed, or they were just passing by and he got interested. So who knows? That's fishing. Let's see if we can get another one to strike. Okay. All right, so yeah, so far I'm still having fun, aren't you? Yeah, definitely give that a try. This is the impromptu fly. 2 red marabou plumes on a size 8 streamer hook. There's a hit. Ah, lost him, missed him. Had a hit while it was moving. Okay, with a streamer hook, lead wire to give it some weight, and then some pink chenille on the head, just to give it more visibility. Because if you're going to start fishing a spot and you're targeting a bass on its bed, this definitely will stand out enough that you can see your fly and see the bass take it. So give that a try. Let us know how that works. And again, this is a fly that is not very hard to tie, and well, so far it's been effective for at least 2 bass that we're interested in, potentially a 3rd one when I had that one following it. Okay, so let's go and cast it further out. Let me give you some line out here. All right, and I'm using an 8-foot range pursuit rod and just casting it out here and blind casting at this point, hoping that maybe something will strike, and hopefully something will. All right. Okay, and definitely like coming out here, these quick trips. Got here a little bit, I think before 7 o'clock. Let's see, what time is it now? 7:26. Hey, not bad, huh? About 30 minutes or so of fishing. Yeah. Who cares, you know? Time flies when you're having fun. Okay, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take up some line and I'm gonna head back to this back pond area by the feeder creek and kind of see if there's anything lurking back there. I did see a fisherman earlier fishing it, so it may have already been spooked a little, but hey, it doesn't hurt to try. So let's go give it a try. And just describe what I am doing for those that are listening in podcast wise. I'm headed to the back pond, Feeder Creek, going to work this impromptu fly in hopes of some bass maybe lurking over here. And today is Thursday, April 13, and it's really nice. Temperature, I believe, is in the 60s, and there's a south wind right now, and I'm kind of standing off now from the feeder creek that goes into the pond itself, the back pond. And what I like doing here is I'll stand off a good ways. Right now I'm about maybe 30 feet, 20 feet, and I'm gonna drop the fly right in. Oh, there we go. I just spooked one that was right by the bank. That's what I was worried about. So yeah, even though I stood off, he was there still, and he probably was a nice size one, but he's gone now. So now I'm gonna work my way up closer, still standing off. I'm about 8 to 10, and I'm just working my fly up close, trying to see if something will strike while I'm working this fly. And so far nothing, but at least I've cleared the area. Pretty confident that if there was a fish there, I at least presented my fly to him before he ran off. Okay, and then now I'm going to start casting a little bit further out to the other side of the bank, or the other side of the pond here. It's a narrow portion of the pond, easily cast to the other side from this bank. And what's nice is you can drop your fly to the other side and just kind of work your fly toward you and kind of work the contour of the bottom. So it kind of does this little slope, and then back up with a channel. There's like two like drainage things over here. There's the feeder creek over here. And well, normally I would cast further out to the other point over here, but I can see there's a lot of greenery in the area. And what happens is, especially this time of the evening, when the bass are feeding, they'll be running up along this bank here, chasing bait fish and whatnot. And it gets really shallow, but they'll come up from the left over here, my left, where it's a little bit deeper, and they'll come up and chase these bluegill, fingerling, whatevers, and just go for it. But right now the area is clobbered with some greenery, so we can't really work this fly in the mix. But well, that's where I'd be casting right now if I could get through that greenery. Okay, so nothing so far. Okay, I'm gonna go over here to my left now. This is the again, the open area where we just were. Oh, I just scared up one from the bank again. Another mistake. I should have just cast in front of me. Oh, there it is right there. That one hit right in front of me. Oh, and he's running. We got a runner. Okay. All right, let's get him closer. Yeah, that one hit. I spooked one, but I went ahead and cast again, and this guy came up. Looks like a bass. Yeah, it's a bass. He went for the impromptu fly. And I'm not gonna say I caught him yet, since I lost that other one when I thought I had him. Okay, all right, and I got only 2 pound or 4 pound test right now for my tippet, so let me lip him. All right, oh well, he swiped it and I hooked him in the, just above the eye here, so there we go. All right, he's longer than the other one, but he's skinny. He's skinny compared to the one that we just caught earlier, and I believe the other one was that I lost was bigger. So, but hey, I got one. All right, so caught 2, lost 1, and hey, who knows, we're still fishing. All right, and again, I'll describe the fly for those that are listening in, and for those that can see, let me show you. All right, let me just clear the greenery off here. This is that green stuff I was telling you about that's in the pond. Okay, so it's a very simple tie right here. It's 2 plumes of marabou, red marabou right here. There's lead wire to give it weight right here at the front end, and then there's this pink chenille that I've kind of wrapped over that lead wire. Start out with 1 plume tied like you would in the vise right on top, then I flip it over, I tie another one right here just forward of the point, and secure it to the hook shank and onto the lead piece to make sure I've got it good. Oh wow, I just hooked myself. All right, and then I add the chenille, tie that in, bring it up to the front just behind the hook eye, and then I secure it with some whip finish, and that's it. And it kind of rides like so. When it hits the bottom as you're casting it, it just kind of swims along, and it gives a nice enticing action when it's sitting in a bed. And what's nice is this red color and this pink is a nice contrast, so that you're able to see the pickup in most cases. But right now I haven't fished any beds because I haven't seen any. Well, I've seen several beds, but I haven't seen the bass in the bed. All right, and just to recap what I did, I was working my way over here, and I did the classic mistake of walking up without clearing the bank, and there was a bass just right here that ran off. Oh man, I just knocked a branch. All right, there we go. And then while I was talking about how bad it was that I missed them, I cast again, about right so, about a few feet over in, and that's when that other bass hit. So hey, you may spook them but still cast, because there may be another one lurking there. All right, and now I'm just kind of continuing on the bank here, working my way to the left and clearing the area. I just saw some movement. Looks like maybe some fish. I think it was a bluegill. Okay, and now that I've cleared the closer area, I'm working the fly deeper. And so far, everything we've caught has been on the strike right when the fly hits the water. So I'm either dropping it on top of them or they're passing by and I just luck into them. But I haven't got any as I'm retrieving. It's all been cast it out, bang, there's the hit. Okay. All right. Well, that's some junk. Got some greenery. Let me clear it. All right, and so I hope you guys are having fun out here. I am. This is the GoPro mobile fishing live stream. Yours truly, Glenn, with the Cedar Island Fishing Field Team, COAF Field Team on YouTube. And I'm out here with the impromptu fly, one that I made just a few minutes before I drove out here. Yeah, that's the other thing I like about fly fishing, fly tying, is you don't have to be fancy. You just gotta tie something that a fish will strike. In this case, it's probably one of your easiest flies to tie. It uses a hook, the tying thread, some lead weight, and 2 red marabou plumes, and some chenille. And in short order, you can be out trying a new pattern yourself, working the bank and whatnot. Okay, so let me describe this area here. So this one, I was talking about how I like to stand off about 30 feet, 20 feet off from the feeder creek. There's the feeder creek. It comes in here. Oftentimes, I'll see bass lurking in this area here. They'll be little, they'll be big, but I'll see bass consistently over the years. And what happens is it has some sediment, and it's fairly shallow, but they will be up in there where it's really shallow, where you can see their backs, and then they'll come back in to the main pond and drop off. And in fact, here I see a bluegill off to my left, kind of lurking over here where it's deeper. But this section's deeper, and I think over the years, I think some of the bigger bass have been caught in this section. All right, but others can attest as well. How good or bad they've done. This is a heavily pressured pond, or series of lakes, ponds. They call it Bethany Lakes. It's 4 ponds. And where I'm at right now is the back pond, and I'm by the feeder creek, and I'm just kind of playing around now. Lost a bass, caught a bass, caught another bass. So I'm hoping that I can kind of see if there's something lurking here. So what I'm doing right now is I'm casting the impromptu fly, and I'm kind of dragging it through, not really casting, but mainly using my fly rod and kind of sweeping the rod right or left, just to keep a steady motion and get enough movement in the fly that it might entice a strike. And what I'm looking for is maybe something to follow through. Let's see, I see a turtle right now. Okay, there's a turtle there. All right, let's go work our way back now. Okay, so this is the back pond. There's the feeder creek. All right, this is one of 4 ponds here at Bethany Lakes. It's fairly shallow, gets deep here, gets shallow there. In the middle area, it's as deep as it gets. I don't think it's very, very deep. When I first started fishing here, maybe about 20 years ago, it had less sediment, but again, 20 years of rain and whatnot has definitely caused this to be a much shallower pond than it used to be. The last time I think they dredged was that lower pond over there by Joe Farmer Recreation Center, and I can't remember when that was, but it was definitely between 20 and 10 years. I'd say maybe around 10 years ago. So look at that right there, something just spooked. Okay, so I'm just kind of walking the bank now where I just came from, not really treading lightly, since well, I'm trying to get to another spot, and maybe I can give you an idea of what it's like to spook a bass while you walk up close. So here's where I am. I'm along the bank now. I'm gonna describe what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna walk along this bank, and let's just see how many maybe fish we may spook as we walk along the bank. All right, normally I'm 5, 6 to 20 feet out, 30 feet in some cases, and I just fished this area, but let's just kind of walk along. Okay. All right, I just saw something move to my right. That could have been a fish. All right, I'm walking here, just walking along. Let's see if we can get something to spook. I saw one right there. 2. Spooked 2. They weren't big, but I spooked them. All right, so that's what I was talking about. There's another one. That's what I was talking about, why I like to stand off about. Oh, there's another one. Okay, so here is where I'll normally start out when I walk a bank this far, or close, a little bit closer. There's one right here moving. Okay, so you want to increase your hookup rate, stand off from the bank cast close in first and then get up close. And then as you do get close and you're working your way over left or right, kind of cast in front of you before you move on to your left or right. So in this case, if I've already walked up to the bank and now I'm going to work my way, let's say to the left and fish, going to stay off here close to the bank since I'm already here, but I'm casting in front of me. I'm working my way over with my fly, and in hopes of clearing the area close by with any fish, at least giving them the opportunity to see my fish before they, or see my fly before me, and get a potential strike. Over here I'm going to kind of work my way in shallow where I'm not going to go because there's a lot of junk there, but at least I'm clearing the area. And that's how I like to fish a bank. So a lot of times you see some new folks coming up and they just walk out right there. Spooked one. They go right up to the bank and give it the old, I'm gonna go catch something. And next thing you know, you just spooked what you were gonna catch. There, just spooked another one. All right, and that's me standing off about 10 feet right now. So they feel your footsteps, they'll feel something, there's something that they sense, and guess what? They're gonna run on you. All right, so we'll step lightly, and I'm going to toss my fly in front of me here, kind of work the bank again, stepping lightly. I already caught one here. That's the one I first caught, and he hit as soon as the fly hit the water. He struck. Okay, seems to be the going thing right now for these guys. So, oh, right there, spooked one right there, but let's go and cast there just in case. Okay, well, even then, if you do that, you're going to spook them, but you have the opportunity to increase your hookup rate, because you're, instead of telling them you're there, you're at least getting the opportunity to cast your fly. Oh, there's a hit. You at least get the opportunity to present your fly to the fish and let him decide if he wants to strike before you give him the scaries and runs off on you. All right, so for those watching on the video, well, apologize, I'm doing a lot more talking than normal, but I'm having to do a little narration, mainly because this is also part of our podcast series. Okay, all right, so again, just describe what I'm doing. I'm about 10 feet from the bank, and I'm working just a little bit of my line fly, and I'm casting it about 6 to 8 feet off the bank, and just kind of working my way, hoping that maybe there might be something interested in my fly as I present it to them, without me spooking them off first. Okay, and so far caught 2 and lost 1, and in all instances it's been the strike as soon as the fly hits the water. Haven't got any on the retrieve. Okay, and I'm working my way along the bank slowly, stepping lightly, and kind of clearing the area close to the bank before I move on or cast further or walk up on the bank. Okay, let's just kind of work our way over here. Okay, all right, I'm gonna take us over to the other side of this tree, and oh, I see something moving in shallow right now. Okay, here about 20 feet from the bank, standing off, and the sun's starting to go down, and we're kind of fishing the evening bite at this point. So we may get them as they're feeding, or we may get them as they're on their beds. But what I'm going to do is slowly walk up on the bank as I clear the area where I'm going to approach, and then once I'm there, I'm going to start casting further out, left and right, in case there's something, and then I'll start tending to one side or the other and fish along the bank, starting out more of a parallel or acute angle, hopes of a strike, and then maybe get a fish. All right, so now I'm just kind of working my way to my left, casting in front of me, clearing the area close by, and now I'm going further out. Okay. Go ahead and go a little further out here. All right, now I'm up on the bank and I'm going to start casting further out just because I want to see if there's anything out here further. And I normally work my way further along this bank to my left, but it's kind of in a hurry now because I got to call it quits. It's mainly a quick trip, and I want to work this one area real quick on the main pond, see if there's something lurking there. So let's go over there real quick. Yeah. All right, so, all right, describe what I'm doing. I'm going to the main pond now. That's the one with the fountain. That's one of 4 ponds here at Bethany Lakes, and I'm gonna work my way up to the bank, standing off from the bank. Okay, in this case, I'm standing off about, let's just say 20 feet, and I'm gonna drop my fly right where I think I've seen some bass in the past, and see if I can get them to strike without me walking up on them. Okay, so, oh, there's one. He just spooked, but I think it was a little bluegill, or a little guy. Okay, so now I'm walking up closer, about maybe 10 feet now. Continue to work the area in front of me for potential bass. Okay, and then I'm going to work to the right, my right, and there's a hit right there. Okay, all right, so there I saw the hit because I saw my line straighten. Okay, all right, let's bring them in. Yeah, I saw my line start straightening on me. It was kind of sinking the fly, or the fly, and then I saw the line straighten on me, and I knew I had something to pick up. So there we go. That's number 3 caught, but have lost other one, this other one. So 3 with a 4th one lost. Again, on the impromptu fly right here, 2 marabou plumes, one tied to the top of the shank, one tied to the bottom of the shank, lead wire wrap, and a pearl chenille right here with some fluffiness to it, and then just secured in place with some whip finish knots, and there it is. And I'm just kind of poking along, working the bank, standing off from the bank, and then coming in. Either I caught a fish, or didn't get anything, but I'm at least close to the bank now, and I'll start working my way to be at the left or the right. In this case, I'm going to work my way to the right, and now I'm casting in front of me, still close to the bank, kind of clearing the area. Then I'll start working my way further from the bank, and right now the pattern has been a strike pretty much immediately on the fly hitting the water, or just shortly after hitting the water. So not really trying to present a fly and do any retrieving. Instead, it's me dropping it, letting it sit, and I'm watching my fly, watching my line for any indication of a strike. That last one, the indication of the strike was my line tightening. Okay, so I cast, the line was kind of loose, and then I could see my or note that my fly was drifting, sinking slowly, and I saw my line tighten, and that's when I set the hook. All right, and just in case, go ahead and cast behind you. Maybe a fish came back, decided that, hey, you're gone, but I'm here now. Yeah, so it doesn't hurt to go cast behind you in case you missed them. All right, let's go over here, get on the other side of this tree. There's some vegetation that's going to block the close-in area, but I'm still going to stay off from the bank, and I'm going to just kind of pop my fly into different spots that are clear. Again, standing by for an indication of a strike. All right, so it's almost like I'm just kind of picking my fly through all this junk. I'm making a loud splash when I hit, because guess what, especially bass, sometimes that loud splash is like a dinner bell to them. So there's no finesse when it comes to fly fishing for bass at times. Sometimes you can just make the loudest noise you can, and sure enough that bass is going to come up and take a look at it. If it looks tasty, you're going to take it on you. All right, so here I am. I just continue poking away, and yeah, I'm just poking my way along. And right here I've seen bass in this one section. It's not really a feeder creek, it's more like a drainage where water drains to it from some runoff. And over the years there's been some bass on beds here setting up, and caught bass here. And in this case, all I'm doing is I'm popping or just dropping my fly, letting it kind of sink, and then I'm just recasting out to the bank now and get ready to cast further out. Okay. All right. Okay. Again, I'm just watching for it. Ah, God, I saw that. I saw the pickup. The line did the same thing where the line straightened out. I went to set the hook and it did not happen. So, well, it doesn't happen all the time, but hey, at least gave him the opportunity to strike. Okay, let's go pop it back out. Okay. All right, let's go further out. Okay, here there's a shallow area to right in front of me along the bank. And what's nice about this is I can basically fish parallel to the bank and work the area for any fish. Cover a lot of ground, and hopefully there's a take right there. Oh, that's not the take, that's a snag. Oh, painful, painful, painful. All right, for those listening in, I lost my impromptu fly. He's a done deal. Bummer. I was using 4-pound test, real thin line. All right, got a few minutes to go here before I gotta call it quits. So hey, let's go and just throw on a fly. Let's see, I got a bunch of flies. Here's that one Bet's Brim Getter style. And here's the foam grasshopper. It's the one I was catching some bluegill on the other day, so I'm gonna put that one back on, and then kind of work it in this area, and then I guess we're gonna have to call it quits. So for those that missed the earlier action, so far I was using the impromptu fly. It's a marabou, 2 marabou plume red on a size 8 hook, streamer hook, lead wire wraps to give it some weight, some pink chenille for the head, and one plume was tied to the top of the shank and the other plume was tied to the bottom of the shank, and then secured all in place and took it out here to do some fishing, and caught 3 bass and lost a 4th, and then I lost my fly. It looks like I snagged something on the bottom. So at this point I'm just going to put on a foam grasshopper, another one of these impromptu flies that I make. Actually, this one was cut with a foam cutter that I use for other flies. And what I'm going to do is just kind of work it on top and maybe see if something's interested on the top water bite. I'm going to go ahead and take my sunglasses off. All right. Because I don't think we have much more time to fish, and well, let's just try. Here we go. All right, I'm just working the there's a hit. Oh, it's a little guy. Oh man, it's a little guy. All right, I'm using oh, it's a bass. All right, I'm using that foam grasshopper there, and there, look at that. He's definitely not the biggest one we caught today, but he was definitely feisty and said, hey, I own that foam grasshopper. So let's let them go and get bigger. Okay. All right, well, that counts though. That counts as a bass. All right, let's try it again. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and work this shallow area again. Let me see if I can get it that way. Okay, there we go. And that one struck it fairly quickly. Let's see. And what's nice about these topwater deals is you can twitch them along and definitely have a good opportunity to catch something. So, all right. Here, let me go cast back behind me real quick. See if I can get something to strike in this direction. Maybe there's another scrappy little bass that's interested in a foam grasshopper. Okay. And again, the gear I'm using, it's a 8-weight or 8-foot Redington Pursuit fly rod, 4-weight. Using the Ross Fly Start 2. I think it's a 4-weight. And I'm using a 4-weight weight forward line. And I started out with some impromptu fly that I made a few minutes before I came out here to go fishing. And then I lost it after catching 3 bass and losing a bass. And I think I lost it to a snag. And now I've put on a foam grasshopper and hooked into a little scrappy little bass. And that's it so far. So I'm gonna go ahead and go further down the bank here. And while we were fishing, I was describing what I was doing, and some of the key takeaways I would say for this round is how I work the bank, first starting further away from the bank. So right now I'm standing off about maybe 10, 15 feet away, and I'm working my fly close to the bank, just a few feet off the shore, maybe 3 to 6 feet out, kind of clearing the area. There's a hit. Clearing the area of potential fish. Kind of want to just present my fly before I present myself. And I'm slowly walking up to the bank. At some point I will be out near the bank, and then I'll be just fishing like normal. Okay, there's a hit. Ah, yeah, I missed that one. He was close too. He was very close. That was probably, I think that was probably a bluegill. So it's probably a bluegill. I'm gonna go cast it back again. Yeah, he's chasing it. Came back and chased it. Let's try it again. Yeah, come on, bluegill. Nope. Let's try a little further out. Maybe his buddy's out there. Nope. All right, let's kind of toss it this way now. All right, I'm gonna clear it close area. There's a hit. Ah, that's just a few feet off the bank. Little guy. Okay. Trying to get it near the cypress knees. Got a hit there. These are little guys. Okay. And I'm gonna work my way to the right. Cast really close to shore right now. There's a little hit. Yeah, these are little. Those are little. Let's see if he'll hit. Okay, now I'm working my way over. Just slowly working my way over. It's moving to the right now, along the bank. I'm standing away from the bank now, getting ready to go to around a tree where it's a little bit more open, and I'm going to drop my fly just about maybe 4 to 6 feet from the bank. Just kind of working it in there, seeing if I can track something to strike. There's a strike. I think that's a little bluegill. Let me tighten my line here. Okay. There's a hit. Yeah, those are little guys hitting it. That one's a bigger guy. Yeah, there we go. That was a bigger guy, but not that much bigger. Okay, And that one's maybe about 4 to 6 feet from the bank. Little sunfish, right? Going for a foam grasshopper. All right. Oh, dropped them. All right, let's go back. Come on, buddy. Get back and get bigger. Okay. So yeah, stay off the bank. Work your way in closer. And there's a hit. And then at that point, start casting further out. Because you'd be surprised, especially this time of day. Early evening, you'd be surprised what's lurking in these little shallow waters. I mean, it's not very deep at all here. It's inches, less than a foot, more likely like 4 to 6 inches. And there are things lurking about fairly close to shore right now. And every once in a while you'll get that big guy. There's a hit. Okay. Here, let's go and cast further out. See if something's lurking further out. Okay. In this case, I'm casting out, letting it sit, and just kind of doing a little twitch. See if I can get something's attention. Later on, when I see them cruising about and they want movement, I'll definitely start retrieving more. But right now, it seems like it's just cast and let your fly sit. Give it a twitchy twitch every once in a while. There's a hit. Little guy. Oh, another little guy. He took it, but I lost him. So right now it's small guys, but you'll be surprised. You get a big guy to hit too. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna work this shallow area real quick, right by a tree. There's a hit. I'm just gonna walk up slowly. Give it a little twitch. A little twitch. Fly's just kind of sitting there on the water. Okay. Alright, I got the fly just under some cypress tree limbs and I'm twitching it. Further out now, working it in, twitching. Seeing if something will be interested in the little grasshopper. Now I'm casting further out, but parallel to shore, or at an acute angle to shore. There's a strike. It's a little guy. Oh, something just popped here. Let's go cast to him. All right. So something came up and struck something, and I just went ahead and cast to him, just in case he was interested in possibly my fly. Okay. Just keep casting it out a little further. Right. Just keep working the fly. There's a hit. Oh, it's that little guy. It's those little guys. Which I'm okay with them hitting the fly. Keeps things interesting. Okay, casting further out now. Still at an acute angle to shore, but further out so I can clear the shoreline of any fish, or at least present my fly once before I walk up on it. All right. Now I'm up close again. Oh, there was a strike. Came up and swiped at it. Pulled it out. Okay, let's see if he'll hit again. No. Let's do this again. All right, I'm going to cast over here by this tree. Maybe something's lurking there. Oh, that was a big hit. Oh, dang it. That was a bass, I believe, and he hit it. But again, I got that small hook, so that's a very tough one to get if you don't hook them just right. So, yeah. So again, this is fairly close to shore. Working it near the trees. Right by a little, oh, I got a tree fish. Oh, I missed it. All right, cool. I did just lose what looked like a bass. He had it in briefly in his mouth, and then boom, I lost him. Now I'm kind of working it near this tree again, hoping that I might get something. Now I'm going to work it close between some trees that are over here in the shallow area. See see if I can scare something up that may be cruising in the shallows. Something just hit it, but he didn't take it. Didn't take it like I wish he would. Further out, still working it between these two trees. Something just moved. Oh, look at that. Oh, dang it. 2 bass. One hit my fly, the other one was chasing some other fish. Man. Okay, let's try it again. So I've lost 2 now, but I believe it's because, well, I got a really small hook. And you just got to get them right. And that one hit it as I was moving it this time. So he was definitely wanting to chase it. Let's try over here. Let me get him to do it again. And it's that time of the evening when they're feeding, chasing some bait fish or little guys in the shallows. And in this case, I've lost 1. Actually, I lost 2 now. Oh,
you're good. You got it right under those trees.
Huh? Oh yeah, yeah.
That's pretty good.
You just kind of flip it in there. I mean, I've lost a bunch that way too.
Yeah.
You get anything?
I just got here. I've never fished this lake before.
Oh.
I fished the other one last year when they had rainbows in there, but
Yeah.
one kind of new to the area.
Yeah.
I've been just some white bass, or the season's kind of gone by now, but
Yeah.
I was feeling a little raw.
Yeah, Levant's good for white bass.
What's that?
Levant's good for white bass.
Yeah, I was getting them at the north end.
Yeah.
Got some at the dam, but the north end paid up pretty good. But I went there today. Yeah, I was back to New Hampshire for 3 weeks.
Okay.
And got some beautiful rainbows out there, but
Yeah.
so coming back, I missed the tail end of the white back.
Yeah. Well,
So I'm gonna try to find the crab.
yeah.
So I don't know if they're gonna go up the books or not.
Yeah. What I normally do for the white bass and the crappie, I wait till it gets warmer, and then I go on a kayak.
Well, that's the thing, yeah. So
Yeah.
I may have to get some. I don't like crabs. I mean, I want to have something I can take my grandson in.
Yeah.
But I don't really have a place to. I'm at my daughter's
Yeah.
place, so she doesn't want me parking
All
right
right.
there.
Yeah.
And,
I'm live streaming right now, so
are you really?
yeah. So you don't mind? Okay. All right.
I'm a YouTuber myself.
All right.
I used to be.
Okay.
And for gold.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I used to live in Monterey, and I tried panning. I never.
Colorado and go right in Denver.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right in Denver.
I still got my gold pan, but yeah, I never did it.
Oh yeah, I used to take people and guide them.
Man,
Yeah.
do you do metal detecting?
No, I got some, but
Yeah.
I never bought the real expensive ones. And
Yeah.
out there's so much magnetite and black
Oh
sand.
yeah, yeah.
It's just everyththing's hot. So
Yeah.
unless you get along the crevices and
Yeah.
kind of go about that way,
Oh
it's
man.
hard to say. I mean, you can spend $500 on a metal detector and you don't get nothing. So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
you got to spend. It's all about the kilohertz for metal detectors.
Yeah.
It's got to be above 50. So had one right there.
Oh yeah. You know, like right now, they're feeding along the shallows.
The bass are?
Bass, as well as the bluegill will be hugging the area, but they're also spawning. So if you come out with your polarized glasses,
Yeah.
and you look along the banks, you'll see them just kind of sitting there.
Okay.
There's a couple of videos I posted recently. Check it out. It's COAF Field Team, City of Allen Fishing Field Team. That's the YouTube channel I have.
Let me get it right down
Yeah.
so I can check it out.
I mean, just think of City of Allen Fishing.
Well, I'll never remember. I'm terrible with names, and
All right.
so if I can add it in, I'll just add it like the phone
All right.
number.
All right. Yeah, and for you guys that joined, just heads up. We're over here meeting another individual out here getting ready to do some fishing. Just talking about fishing and some of the opportunities you can have out here at Bethany Lakes.
Okay, so give me the.
It's COAF.
Yep.
And then Field Team.
Field team.
Yep. And it should come up under YouTube.
Cool. Yeah, I'd be glad to watch anything you got, just because I don't know the area, and I mean I've gone hunting around for stuff and gotten a little bit lucky here and there, but I'm learning the area. So I know that the bass are, it's the spawn season and crappies and all that kind of stuff, and I'm dreading the heat. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, it'll get hot later. But yeah, what I normally do is wintertime I stick with the cold water fishing, so the rainbow trout, be it here in the local ponds, or I'll go up to Oklahoma. There's a couple places that have year-round trout fisheries, as well as Blue River, which is a seasonal one, but it's a real good one that's close by.
Yeah.
It's like less than 2 hours, hour, 45 minutes in Oklahoma.
That's not bad.
Yeah,
because I'm going to get a Texoma license anyway, so I can do some striped bass fishing.
So Texoma, you have Lake Texoma proper, all right? That's above Denison Dam. That one you get the calendar year Texoma license. That covers you for both anywhere fishing on the lake itself. All right, and that's like $12.
Yeah.
If you go down by the tail race over there by Denison Dam, so there's a tail race that's used to dam up the reservoir, Texoma.
Yeah.
So here's the dam. It's called Denison Dam, and it's right over here. There's a power plant and everything. Yeah. And that's good for striped bass, all kinds of good fishing. Just you got to play it by ear with the generation schedule and what's with the water flow. Okay. But license-wise, Oklahoma owns the water.
Yeah, right? I've heard that. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go with a Texas fishing license, you can fish from the dam down to what's called it's like Squaw Creek. Yeah. All right, which is the river that if the lake floods over, the water goes over the spillway and it comes out Squaw Creek. All right. You can fish with a Texas license all along there up to Squaw Creek, but you can't go in the water. You have to stay out of the water.
Yeah, that's so weird.
And that includes if they're generating or not, that water line is going to move up and down. Yeah. But as soon as you go in the water, now you have to have an Oklahoma license.
Now you can't do it with the Texoma license?
No. Oh. Texoma is only good for the lake.
Yeah. So, but you can fish anywhere around both sides of the lake with the Texoma license, right?
Yeah. Texoma license, you're good. Oh, that's nice. Yeah. Nice rainbow trout.
Yeah, that's my fishing buddy back east.
TRWD Fly Fest over there in Fort Worth that closes out the season. They just hosted it in March of every year. That's what they stock over there, that size.
No, I've heard, where is that?
It's on the banks of the Trinity.
Is that over towards...
you know the Acme Brick Company headquarters?
I know where Dallas is. That's about my...
Okay, well it's Fort Worth on that side.
Yes, so I watched a video of guys catching them in that river.
Yeah, there's some big ones there.
You know, nice 3-pounders.
They're they only stock those for that event, and then you got like a 2-week window. Then it gets hot, and then it's hard to get them after that, or they're dead.
Right.
The other one is Blue River, Oklahoma. Yeah. They have 2 derbies: President's Day Weekend Derby, and then the Veterans Day Weekend Derby. For those events, they bring in some nice size, like 5-6 pound trout. And they stock that and augment the normal weekly stocking with that for that event, for that trout derby. And you can get some big ones there.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat them, but they're fun to catch.
Well, you want to eat these because they're going to die. They don't make it through the whole...
I don't... Stockfish tastes terrible to me. The one I showed you that boy caught, that's been eaten smelt like all winter.
Oh, okay. So it's that...
So we're getting the spring run, and they put them in at 10, 12 inches.
Okay.
And the things are, nice. 18 to 24. He got one. All right. He got one 23 that weighed 4.5 pounds.
Oh wow.
And
so
that's a lot of fun.
There's 2 year-round fisheries in Oklahoma, and then you got 1 year-round fishery here in Texas. So Guadalupe River down in New Braunfels, Green area, that area. Okay. Just between San Antonio and Austin. That's a year-round trout fishery.
But really? And I would think it'd be too warm down there.
They do a water flow that keeps the water cool enough. Yeah, the issue is they got special regulations there. Fly fishing, barbless, one that could go so many inches and that's it. You can keep, or you can just catch and release all you want. Sure. That's the 1 year-round trout fishery in Texas for trout. Okay. In Oklahoma, you got Lower Illinois, which is the tail race to Lake Tenkiller up in Gore, Oklahoma. That one is a year-round trout fishery that gets stocked, I think, every other week, if not every week.
I've heard about that one too. Yeah.
And then you got Broken Bow, which is part of the Lower Mountain Fork and Beavers Bend State Park. Okay. That's a year-round trout fishery. Okay. The Lower Illinois, you don't hear as many people go to that one. Yeah. But of the two, given a choice for trout, I like the lower Illinois, and it's mainly because you could be fishing it for trout. And they have a ton of trout there. But at the same time, you could be catching striped bass, you could be catching white bass, you can be catching, you know, buffalo. I mean, there's like all kinds of different species you can be catching all on that whole stretch.
Wow.
And it's a concentrated area below the dams.
Yeah, well, that's, I mean, I got my first buffalo that was about 26 inches or so.
Oh, that's a nice one.
At Levon Dam, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then today we saw, when I just stopped by there was a bunch of gar that were just cruising the surface.
Yeah, yeah.
Not real big ones, probably, you know, up to 24 inches or so, but it's cool to see them.
Oh, there's some big ones.
Yeah, I've seen them gulp air before when my kids took me over there.
There's some big ones.
Yeah. So, well, thanks for the info. I really appreciate it.
All right. Yeah,
so,
yeah.
You fish in the morning? I mean, is it good fish in the morning?
Yeah, it's good. Usually,
so I can see them better with my glasses then.
So morning's good, evening's good. This time of year, throughout the day is going to be good still because it's still cool enough.
Any topwater stuff?
Yeah, topwater start picking up here soon. Okay. When it gets warmer, at that point when it's really, really hot, then I just fish morning and evening, and I hold off on the. You can still catch them in the daytime, but it's a lot hotter, you know. And okay, I'll wait.
Yeah, exactly.
But at that point, if I do fish them in the day, then I'm working the shadows.
Oh yeah.
Because they're kind of lurking in the shade now.
And we usually do lily pads for even out there, you know, because they'll come in shallows and they love ambushing anything that's on the lily pad. That's a lot of fun, and we will skip a barbless hook, or you know, it's kind of, you know, we'll just skip it across the lily pads and they come flying out of the water. All right. It's a lot of fun.
Well, appreciate it. You know.
Yeah, no.
Hope you don't mind. We're on the live stream, so
that's all good. That's all good. I appreciate the info, and I'm gonna try for some catfish tonight just to see if I can catch any.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, give it a try.
I've heard there's some good ones.
Yeah, you'll be surprised. Bread, just straight bread. Yeah.
I brought just night crawlers tonight, but
yeah,
I've got some cut up buffalo for them too.
Okay. Yeah. What I find is bread, because people come out here to feed the ducks. They feed the ducks. The catfish come.
Is there carp in here?
There used to be some koi, but I haven't seen them in a long time. And then the carp, it's been a while since I've seen a carp. Okay. Mainly bluegill, catfish, and then the bass.
Okay. Well, that's good to know.
All right. Good luck.
Have a great day.
Take care. All right. Well, that was fun talking fishing. So if you can't go fishing, you can always talk fishing. In this case, we were able to talk some fishing with someone new to the area, and hopefully we were able to give some good information about fishing the area, to include Texoma, as well as some fishing areas over there in Oklahoma. All right, so I'm gonna close out the live stream. Appreciate y'all joining. This is also a podcast series, so that if, well, you know, like yours truly, when he's having to go do his day job, I get to listen to different podcasts while I'm driving through the commute. And so although I can't watch a video, I can at least listen to people talk. And in this case, hey, nothing wrong with talking fishing. All right, let's go ahead and close out the podcast, or correction, the GoPro fishing live stream. Again, appreciate y'all joining us today, and I'm hoping that I can continue doing this, and y'all continue to join us, and maybe learn to catch a fish or two through our trials and errors. All right, all for now, good luck.